This video response is going to go out to the Indefatigable Theist, and if I've mispronounced your username, you have my deepest apologies. Okay? Now, this is also going to go out to Redline and to Integral Math, and that is because I watched one of your debates on the Indefatigable Theist YouTube channel. I watched your debate, and I wanted to say I took a great interest in the debate. I also wanted to say that I agree with the Indefatigable Theist position. Okay. But having said all that, I do have a question for all three of you. Okay? And here's my question. How many people do you think who are facing eviction right now paid any attention to your debate? Probably few to none. How many people who are facing starvation night after night paid any attention to that debate? Probably few to none. How many people who are facing bullyism on a day-by-day basis in school paid any attention to your debate? Probably few to none. Here's my point. Whilst I agree with the position of the Indefatigable Theist, I do have to say that I tend to prioritize how I deal with things. And to me right now, the highest priority is to cure starvation, bullyism, and eviction. And I know exactly how to do it. I don't have to sit there day after day praying to God, hey, we got to fix this problem. God has already revealed to me how to fix this problem. The problem is the lack of education. Here's how this one works. Ready? We are shifting from an industrialized society to an intellectual society. AKA, you either get smarter or you don't get a job. And even if you do get a job, you don't get a good paying job either. Oh. Nobody thought about that. So, if you're trying to get people out of eviction and starvation, what you have to do is give them a high-powered education. Now, what do some churches do about that? Well, I'm going to tell you what they do. They say, well, just go to college. Well, that's an easy answer, except for one thing. How are they supposed to pay for the gas to get from their houses to the college classes night after night? I'm not really sure. Even if they could afford the gasoline, how are they supposed to pay for the tuition or the books? That's a problem. However, my YouTube channel has the answer for that. But before I give you the answer, let me tell you about the other situation, which is the bullyism. And bullyism can get pretty bad. Do I need to remind you people of Jonesboro, Arkansas, Paducah, Kentucky, Columbine, Virginia Tech? Do I need to remind you of any of that? So I know exactly what I'm talking about here. You say, well, how do you solve that problem? Well, you pump a whole bunch of education down the throats of those facing that situation. You say, well, how does that solve the problem? Here's how that works. If you learn a lot faster than the school bully, then what happens is you get placed in advanced placement courses. Now, the school bully is not, usually he's not going to go to the effort of learning as fast as you to try to keep up with you. So now the bully's in one classroom, you're in another, problem solved. You see what I mean? And that's what my YouTube channel is all about. Now, the thing is that anybody watching me has one of two options to solve this problem. They can either mimic what I've done and pump up a whole bunch of education to help those people out, or they can just recommend my channel because I've already done a lot of the work. Don't believe me? All you have to do is go to my YouTube channel, look through all those playlists, and see for yourself. As a matter of fact, if you don't believe my solution will work, then I challenge you to watch every single video and every single one of my playlists and learn all the material I have contained therein. and spread that information to everybody else. And watch how fast it works. Now, I will say a few other things. Number one, keep in mind that any law that is put on the law books today can actually be repealed in a short period of time. You say, well, that can't happen. Oh, yes, it can. Let's go back to the 20th century when they started having prohibition on alcohol. Look how short a time it took before it was repealed. So, although your debate on homosexuality was a good debate, and I agree with the position of the indefatigable theist, I have to say that if we're going to have a higher end priority by doing what I'm doing right now, let's not worry about that at the moment. Let's fix this first. Then we can fix that. You know what a higher level of education can actually fix? You know that wonderful abortion issue you have all the time? You say, well, how does a high level education fix that? Most of those abortions, well, I'd say quite a few of them, are done by teenagers that stand there and say, oops, I made a mistake, I had a baby. Well, it wasn't a mistake, it was a baby. How do we fix that? We flood their head with a lot of knowledge. They get higher paying gainful employment. They make better decisions because of the high level of education. They don't drop out of school. See what I mean? They're a little more choosy about who they want to spend their time with. There you go. And when that rate drops, then abortion doesn't become such a big issue. You see how a little bit of education will fix a lot of problems? So it's not that I don't believe in these issues. I do. It's just I feel that this happens to be the number one issue right now. If we don't fix this, well, let's face it. If we don't fix this, what Christians are going to be around to defend our Christian positions? That's a good question. And I'm afraid of the answer. So, that's what I say. It's time to put the eviction, starvation, and bullyism problems on the top of the priority list. We fix that and these other problems may start disappearing. Maybe not overnight, but I guarantee you they'll start disappearing. Hopefully you feel the same way. Let me know what you think. I will tell you more in a future video, so stay tuned.